Today, there's no time for an intro.
Come on, Waistband. Say hello.
Because today, we will be making first part of the dress that is not a dress. And I know you've all guessed, the dress that is not a dress is a skirt plus a top, a corset top, in the same fabric that when worn together looks like a dress. I know, I'm a genius, nobody ever thought of this before. So today, we'll be making the string, part 1, skirt. Even though I do not normally make tutorials for my sake and your sake, your sanity's sake, I don't make tutorials, but I will be sharing a secret today. And the biggest secret that I do have is a quick, fast, efficient, those are all the same words. A secret that has been helping me in my sewing studio for years now. And today is your lucky day. I'll be sharing it with you.
Thank you, baby. Yes, Mama is a nice girl for sharing. Yes, I know.
The secret is a fast, efficient, easy, neat way of applying a waistband to any skirt. A circle skirt, a gathered skirt, a pleated skirt, a line skirt, any skirt, all the skirts. So you can use that method anytime, anyway, and you'll always get your really nice neat waistband in half the time. I wish I knew this secret when I first started sewing, so I'm sharing it because honestly it's been, you're welcome baby, a lifesaver.
Ikke sant, Winston? Det helt sant. Winnie has just been on a long walk in the forest, so he's tired.
But anyway, I have to find a fabric that's suitable for this project. I don't think I have it in my stash, even though I am a hoarder. If I don't have it, I'll have to travel to Oslo or to my local store. Let's go. I don't know anything.
Are you a sleepy boy? Oh my goodness.
Let me tell you something. Finding a fabric for this project. First of all, on the day that I was supposed to travel to Oslo to buy the perfect fabric, the trains were cancelled and messed up. And I thought, you know what? I cannot be bothered. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna find a fabric locally. But the fabric store that I have locally has like just one shelf of fabrics. And there was nothing there. So I thought, you know what? I still have a lot of fabric at home. I am a hoarder after all, thank God. So I went home. And by the way, I did buy a fabric dye at the local fabric store because I thought I do have a few yards of fabric that might be doable. It's just the wrong color. So I did buy the fabric dye and I thought I will risk making my bathroom look like I had an explosive diarrhea everywhere, all over, just to get the right shade of fabric. But guess what? This won't be necessary because this is the fabric I thought of using. And I thought I had enough fabric, but I did cut out something out of this fabric that I don't even remember. I don't even know what it was. But I did chomp away at it. So I don't have enough fabric, but I then remembered I bought this one brown fabric that is the perfect color, the exact color that I want. It's too stretchy, but I can make it work, right? At least I don't have to dye it. At least my bathroom will not look suspicious. But guess what? I only have 1 meter of it, which is not enough, not even for the skirt. So I thought, you know what? I have so much of this lovely forest green fabric. I can change my plans, right? I can be flexible. I can make it in green color. No, I cannot because I did not have enough fabric. So, my last resort, which does not include going to Oslo, it's corduroy. It's the last fabric that I wished to use on this project, but that's all I have.
Winnie finally woke up from his nap.
Come on, baby. Come on, Winston.
As per usual, I forgot that a skirt should have pockets. But look what I found. This was in my stash of old fabrics. I only have maybe half a meter of it, but I thought it does suit the outer fabric and could make really fun pockets.
What do you think, Winston? Oh, big stretch. Winnie, what do you think? Is this acceptable? Osho. Osho. Oh my goodness, baby. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, sir. This paw needs to go somewhere else. You, for safety. There are pins in there. Be careful. Hey. Careful, baby.
Guys, a round of applause for my hardworking fairy seamstress godmother who has interfaced all the pieces while I was fast asleep. So she interfaced the waistband and the back panels where the zipper will go. So all I have to do today is serge the pockets and the skirt pieces, apply a zipper to the back and connect the front and back pieces, and apply a waistband, which is, I hope, the part that you've been all waiting for. Quite frankly, when I started sewing, applying a waistband was such a pain because everybody that I followed back then recommended hand stitching the waistband to the skirt. And one, it never looked quite right. Two, it was never quite as sturdy as I wanted to be. Three, the waistband often didn't lay quite flat. And five, yeah, I counted right. And lastly, it took ages. So guess what? Once I discovered this method of applying a waistband, which is one quick, reliable, and looks good, it changed my life. It changed my life for the better. So now I'm going to share this gift with you guys, and do let me know in the comments if you would like to try this method, or if you do have other method that you also find that is both efficient and looks good. Share it with us in the comments.
I'm gonna start by zipping up all the pocket pieces real fast, and then I'm gonna serge the side seams and the back seam of the skirt before connecting the skirt together. Before first connecting the pockets to the side seams of the skirt and then connecting the skirt back and front together. And then we will be ready for the waistband. this is the only zipper that I found that is the right size and more or less the right color. So I'll have to make this work. Let's go. It's official. I have to move back to my green Singer because the bobbin case in my brother is absolutely... I have to order a new bobbin case. Let's hope that this fixes the problem that I have with the tension. And yeah, let's move on to my pistachio Singer. By the way, one of you asked why I don't always use the Singer, instead I use my brother. Is because this is the most ergonomic sewing machine that I have in my collection, and I'm also just most used to it. I had it the longest out of all the other straight stitch machine that I have, so I just feel most comfortable using this. And yeah, as I said, it's the most ergonomic. It has the needle down option, thread cutting option, the knee lever, whatever it's called, so I can lift up my foot with my knee, this foot with my knee, not my normal foot. So yeah, that's why I always use my brother, especially when I'm in a rush, whenever I want to finish a project really fast. But when I want to enjoy myself, that's when I move on to my vintage sewing machines, when I just want to enjoy the moment. I would really love to get myself the missing part of the table to this sewing machine, because it would really improve the working space available. The thing is, when you have so little space that's flat next to your sewing machine, it's much more difficult to have a straight line in your sewing. Keep your fingers crossed for me that I'll be able to find it or get myself some woodworking tools and fix it myself. But as things are now, I don't have it. I'm just going to sew around the side seams, and then I think I have to take a break and take Winnie for a walk. One half of the front. I just finished pleating the skirt, and I was excited to just to have a look at it before I go for a walk with Winnie. And guys, I picked the right size of the pattern for my waist size, but something is not right. There's a lot of, can you even call it ease? This is not ease, this is a difference of 2 sizes. So I think I have to add a few pleats or deepen the pleats in a few places to be able to wear it. I think, I don't know. But other than that, it's going to be a cold skirt. And here are the
Le pockets. Ta-da!
Go get it. Good boy. Good boy, Winston. He came out of nowhere. Out of the bushes. I think he was having a nap. Hello. Hello, baby. Hi. Försiktig, baby. Försiktig där. Winston. He's playing with Winnie's ball. Winston, ikke så voldsom da. Pinky. Me and Winnie had a proper nice walk. Winston is fast asleep with his Foxy. I don't know if you can see him. Let's see. Focus, not on my ass. And we are going to attach the waistband. And while I'm attaching the waistband, I'll have to reconfigure the skirt slightly because it is a bit too big. This is a crucial step. First, the first thing I do is I mark 1 centimeter. Well, I usually mark 1 centimeter away from the edge because that's usually the seam allowance I'm working with. So I'm marking the seam allowance on one edge, doesn't matter which edge. There we go, and I'll show you why in a second. In this case, I'm also going to mark this 3 centimeters overlap plus 1 centimeter of the seam allowance, 3 centimeters away from this, because it is an overlap skirt. But before I do anything else, I'm going to fold the waistband in half. So I just roughly press it. It doesn't have to be like super hard because we are going to top stitch the whole waistband, which will make it lay perfectly flat anyway. So you don't have to go ham at this stage. And then, wow, I didn't realize that the camera was focusing on my boobs the whole time. I'm really sorry. But now I'm going to turn up the seam allowance that I marked, and I'm going to press it as well. So you're gonna get kind of a tent situation going. First in half and then press up 1 seam allowance. As usual, I forgot to mark one last thing, and that is the 1 centimeter seam allowance on the other side of the waistband. It is useful to have this measurement, and I'll show you why in a second. But as I said, I always forget it. Anyway. So, now that I added this measurement, I take the side where I did not turn up the seam allowance. So here is the side with the turned up seam allowance. I take the flat side and put it against the skirt, right sides together. And this is where the 1 centimeter seam allowance marking comes in useful, because that has to lay flat with the end of my skirt. There we go. And now I'm going to go around the whole skirt, pin in place, adjust the width of the skirt, but at the end of it I'm going to align the other side of the waistband, not with the 1 centimeter seam allowance, but with the 4 centimeter mark for the overlap, for the 3 centimeter overlap.
Little baby.
I'm going to attach the waistband to the skirt at 1 centimeter seam allowance. Now that I have attached the waistband right sides together with the skirt, we come to a slightly tricky part. We take the skirt in our hand and fold over the edge of the skirt to sort of stuff the waistband, and then fold the waistband over the skirt. When you first do it, it feels really counterintuitive and like you're doing something wrong, but the more wrong it feels, the more right it is. You stuffed your skirt into your waistband, and now we have to stitch a 1 centimeter seam allowance here and slightly stitch over the stitching here, not all the way around, but maybe 1 centimeter in, making sure that we do not catch the skirt in our stitch. I've never done that on this sewing machine, to tell you the truth, so let's see how that goes. I'm being as careful as possible to hit that row of stitching that I already did, and when I feel I have it, lift the foot, turn around, still making sure that the skirt is away from the seam allowance that we are going to stitch over, and just a few stitches in, back stitch, and we're done. I shortened this edge a little bit, and now I'm going to fold it over, and this little bit that I left is going to support a nice beak on that corner. Put my finger right to that corner and slowly flip it out. I'm going to use a little tool to poke the corner out nice and sharp. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, though this one has the overlap. This time there's no need to worry about catching the seam allowance since we'll wear it well far away from it. Again, I'm stuffing the skirt into the waistband, aligning the waistband well, and then I'll sew 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, make an L shape, and then flip it. Before I proceed to the final and most fun stage of attaching the waistband, I am going to trim this seam just a little bit. The only reason why I didn't do it immediately after attaching the waistband to the skirt is because I wanted to have these edges at the same 1 centimeter seam allowance, which just makes application of the waistband corners slightly easier. In preparation for the final stage, I use my fingers to sort of press up the waistband. You can iron the waistband or the waistband seam allowance up like this, but with most fabrics your fingernail will do. And now I think you can see where we're going with this. All we have to do is fold over the pressed up seam allowance over the stitch line where we attach the skirt to the waistband and top stitch it in place. You can hand stitch it, but do you really have the time? I don't. It does take some getting used to, and there are some skirts that give you more grief than others. If you at the end of your stitching realize that one part of the skirt is unstitched, just go over the area again and don't stress about it. Take it easy. Since it's been a long time since I've done that, I am going to secure the skirt with few pins. Don't pin it excessively. There is no need to prick your fingers for it to work, but as I said, I haven't done that in a good long while, so just for my peace of mind, I'm going to secure it with 3 pins, but I'll just feel along as I go with my fingers. Make sure it's flat, turn it around, be brave, and do it. Back stitch the first few stitches, and then use a very long stitch. Now, I do not use a stitch in the ditch here, like some beginner patterns recommend, because I actually want the stitching to hold the waistband flat. So I want the stitching to be on the waistband and not below it. As you see, I adjust things as I go along. The longer the stitch, the better. Just control as you go. As long as you see this waistband covering this stitching line, you're golden. The waistband is as flat as it gets without having to iron it, and the inside looks as good as the outside. and we did it all in under what, 20 minutes? I have no idea. I'm just lying now. I didn't check the time. I should have checked the time. All I have to do now is hem the dress, and I'm gonna do a quick and dirty double hem. And I made it even easier for myself by serging the hem. So I'll use the serged edge as my guide for where to fold the hem.
skirt that me and Winnie have been making this whole time. I feel like the outfit is definitely giving I own an N. What do you think about the fabric? Yay or nay for the corduroy? And do let me know if I should lengthen. I cannot lengthen it. Let me know if I should adjust the length, shorten it a little bit, maybe just below the knee. I don't know. That's it for part one of making a dress that is not a dress. The skirt is done. I'm so happy about it. Let me know in the comments what do you think about it. If I should shorten it, and what do you think about the fabric. And sometime next time I'm going to publish making the corset top, which is not this one, a new corset top for to match the skirt and pretend that this is actually a dress. So that's the plan for part two. So if you would like to see the second part where I'll be making the corset top, please subscribe. Join our sewing gang. I like sewing and we have fun and make stuff over here, so why don't you join us? I tried to be big. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye bye.